Hi everyone. Paco Rabanne once said that Paco Rabanne, whose real name is Francisco Rabanne da Cuervo, he once said that he likes his fragrance to be fresh at the beginning and which is structured with a lot of vibration and contrast. And with that philosophy, Paco Rabanne has launched many fragrances out in the market. Likewise, they wanted to launch a fragrance that has rock and roll up bad boy vibes, which has characteristics of a rock star. So they launched this fragrance, Black Excess. So this is a flanker of the original Excess by Paco Rabanne, which was launched in 1994. And they launched this fragrance in 2005. Although this is a flanker, but this has no common DNA with the original fragrance. So these two fragrances smells completely different. Even though in the bottle, if you look carefully, this also has a rock star kind of a vibes with a gothic look, with a logo like a rose on the logo of Black Excess. This is I don't know, but for some reason this reminds me of a Guns N' Roses logo. And after they launched this fragrance, they went through a lot of reformulations. And the final reformulation happened in 2018. And this is how the new bottle looks like. This is I will be explaining how these two formulation smells, how they are different from each other, or whether they are different from each other. I will be explaining shortly. But before that, I will be explaining about how this fragrance smells. First of all, this has a completely different olfactory sensation, right? So this has oriental, gourmand, aromatic and woody kind of accords in it. You will get like lemon and praline notes at the opening. I think they use calamansi here, which is a cross between kumquat and mandarin orange. And then I get a lot of berry and fruity kind of vibes here. Although in Fragrantica they didn't mention these notes, but personally I get those kinds of notes here. So this is a very sensual and seductive and sexy fragrance to me. This fragrance, after that like in the dry down, you will get a lot of like musky notes like patchouli, and also like you will get spicy notes like cardamom and cinnamon, and also you will get patchouli and rosewood kind of smell. That's what makes the whole fragrance quite different and interesting. Like you start to get some spices and also patchouli and woody kind of vibes at the end. And patchouli, I mean, this is a sweet fragrance. This is a very sweet fragrance, but patchouli makes it quite different from, patchouli blocks this fragrance to become overly sweet. In the dry down, you will start to get some spices like cardamom and cinnamon, and also you will get patchouli and rosewood in this fragrance. This is a very sweet fragrance, right? But patchouli blocks it from becoming this fragrance to be overly sweet, because sometimes when a fragrance become overly sweet, it gets annoying. But this is a very pleasant, sweet fragrance, pleasant, sweet and dark fragrance to me. The dry down is beautiful. In fact, I really like the dry down of this fragrance. And a lot of people say this is a unisex fragrance, although this is positioned as a fragrance for men, but also a lot of people say this can be a unisex fragrance, and I completely agree because of this sweet and subtle smell. So coming back to the reformulation version, I think both of this fragrance smell almost similar. So there is very little difference between it. You can overlook it, but if you really want to dig down, then I think this fragrance has more fresh notes at the top note. Like opening is a bit more. It has more citrus in the opening, and this is a little more intense version, and this is a little watered version of this fragrance. So these are the differences that I found from this fragrance, but other than that, it smells quite the same. And this fragrance is a very versatile fragrance. You can wear it at any time, winter, autumn, spring, rainy, but not summer, because I had a very bad experience wearing this fragrance during the summertime. I remember when I wore it for the first time, it was a hot summer evening, and it was really hot. I was just walking through the restaurant from my residence, and at that time I was a student. I was a university student, so I was walking from my residence to the restaurant, and it was really hot outside. I started sweating, and this gives me like a headache because this is a very warm fragrance. So I started sweating more, and I didn't like it at that time. But the moment I entered the restaurant, it was like the temperature was very cool with the AC and everything. So then I after a while I started liking it. So I wouldn't suggest anyone to wear this fragrance during the hot summer day or night. But other than that, this is a very versatile fragrance. You can wear it at any time. This I feel this is a very like young and playful fragrance. So this goes well with the younger generation, probably 18 to 32, probably they during this range. That's how I feel. But again, this is a very subjective thing, right? So even like if you're at the age of 35 or 34, but you have like young vibes, young and playful character in yourself, so definitely you can carry these fragrances off. So that's for sure. And this fragrance, performance wise, I think this average performance, it has average performance. It lasts around 5 to 7 hours in my skin. But projection is not very well. I would say moderate projection, like 2 hours probably it projects well, and after 2 or 3 hours it just becomes a skin scent. But again, this is not an expensive fragrance. This is a very affordable fragrance, so you probably wouldn't expect so much from this in terms of performance. There are fragrances which are affordable and perform well, but I think this smells really interesting, really different, and projection probably it has it's not very good in projection, but you can overlook this if you really like this fragrance, because personally I love this fragrance. And this is a very young, playful, and very flirtatious fragrance, very sexy fragrance to me. So it goes well with your casual attire. It goes very well with your casual attire, and I think that you can wear it during your date nights, and during if you going for clubbing or your date nights. I think these are good occasions to be worn at. This fragrance goes well with your casual attire. You can understand it from the way they position this fragrance, also the way it smells. This goes well with your casual attire, and this has this magical charm. Like, also it's a very mysterious, flirtatious fragrance. So the right time to be worn is probably on your date nights, and also if you're going for clubbing, this goes well. So if I have to explain this fragrance in 5 words, I would say this is mysterious, this is seductive, sensual, this is sweet and sexy, and also this is a magical fragrance. This fragrance stays a very close place in my heart, because this is the fragrance I was wearing during the time when I first met my wife, and I had wonderful memories with her. Even I was wearing this fragrance at that time. So even today she says she loves this fragrance, and I can really carry this fragrance off well. So this is a fragrance, this is my personal favorite fragrance. If you haven't smelled this fragrance before, I would really suggest you to go and smell it. Probably this is not a fragrance that everyone would like. This is probably not blind buy worthy, so I would suggest you to please smell this fragrance, and if you like it and if you're planning to buy it, then you go ahead and buy this fragrance. I didn't like it at the first time, but over time I love this fragrance. So that's all I wanted to share about this fragrance. If you have experience using this fragrance, please share your feelings or your experience below, so we all get to know about different people's experience with this fragrance. So that's all I wanted to share about this fragrance today, and I hope you like it. This is Rakib from Numa Fragrance. Bye.